Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, first we have to think ourselves why we have to practice meditation. Because in day-to-day life, the mind we use, the mostly depend on our past experience. And the thing is that past experience came to us because of many reasons. And especially when it comes to very difficult situation, tight situation. And in that very moment, if you try to think again and again and do something, it doesn't work. So when we look at the sansaric journey, so we are here today, it's not because we have done something perfect. Also, to become human beings, we need certain kind of merits. But at the same time, when we look at the whole picture, we are in the samsara, we are in this very moment because of the certain kind of greed, hatred, and the delusion. So that's why even we are in this human world, in the depth of this all, we have the change, unsatisfactory nature, and selflessness. We experience this all moment by moment. So the very first thing then we have to understand, we are in this samsara, we are in this very moment, because in the past, it was not complete, it was not perfect. That's why we carry dreams, we have desires, because if everything fulfilled, there is no reason for us to be here. Just think yourself, in your samsara, in your past, if everything complete, if everything 100% perfect, even in one moment in your past, why you are here like this? No, it always didn't happen like that way. It's so then we have to come to a point, so far in our life, somewhere, something incomplete or incomplete. So that's mean in this very moment, whatever your history is not complete. So with that incomplete or incomplete mind, if you try to make something else, what will happen? If you try to make a decision, what will happen? Because you are already not complete. So with that, again and again, if you try to build up your future related with your past experience, you're going to repeat the same thing. So then, why we need to practice meditation? What the meditation does? Even though our past is incomplete, remember your mind. If the mind in the present moment, without depending your past, in that present moment of your thoughts, is very fresh and complete. It's not kind of like a dirt, it's kind of like a newly born baby. In this very moment, if you able to get into the present moment of your mind, without depending your past experience. So whatever the culture, tradition, religion, so the education, this everything our past, this everything incomplete. That's why you are like this. So if you question yourself, you will see. That's why you try to achieve to something, you try to become something. So with that incomplete mind, if you try to do things, it's not going to work. That's why most of the religions, any religion, like any spiritual path, the very first thing we come to point, discipline. Even in Buddhism, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So the first one, discipline. Why it come to discipline? Because if you are incomplete, if you are incomplete, if you are have some kind of gap within yourself, with that gap, listen this very carefully and try to understand slowly. If you have the gap inside you, whatever you do, it's going to come with that gap. So if you are not complete with this moment of your life, so whatever you do, your bodily action, verbally action, mentally action, whatever you do, it always going to come with that gap. That's why it always say, before we try to do something, it always say, don't do this, don't do this. Why? Because it is very easy for all of us to stop doing rather than getting to something. If somebody incomplete, for that person we cannot tell do something. Why? Whatever he do, that incompletion going to be with it. So you became incomplete because of the pattern, whatever you keep used to do. So then right away stop that. So then what will happen? You slow down the currents that keep going. Action, reaction, result. You slow down the current. In that moment, you find a space to be calm, relaxed, comfortable with the present moment. Because always your mind in the present moment is complete. If you're able to find it. And in that completion, if you're able to settle down for a moment, and from that point, so whatever you see, whatever you say, whatever you do with your bodily, verbally, or mentally action, it always going to become complete. But we have a habit when we do something, because we are the culture, we are the tradition, we are the education, we are the religion. It is not separate from something. So this everything came from the history, kind of like we accumulated this all with the incompletion. So it like this. You come to a point and you go to temple or you go to whatever your religious place, pray yourself to get into a better place. That's most people do that. So then you praying, and then just imagine, as a result, the very next day you're going to get into that place. You know what we'll do there? You're going to pray again, even you reach to that. Why? Because you develop incomplete mind. And then with that in completion, you reach to that. Then your mind not going to be complete there, because it developed the skill to be unhappy. So that's why when like you see that everywhere, so whatever that unhappiness, unsatisfaction, so whatever we build with the moment by moment by moment, it's going to go with us in any condition. If you not happy with the toys, and that child little by become young and become a millionaire, he not going to become happy. It never going to happen, because it's kind of like a unknown unseen ghost. It going to grow inside. So that is why the discipline is important, because the discipline tell you, it not encourage you to do things. It always tried in the first level not to do things. Of course, in the there is another part in when it comes to discipline that you have to do. Charitra Sila and Varitra. One you avoid and one you cultivate. But before you cultivate, you have to avoid. That is the point I am trying to tell you. Before you do something, you have to understand what you should not do. Why? Because we are here with the incomplete mind. So in that incompletion, we cannot get in to understand what to do. Why? Because we keep doing something wrong. That's why that incompletion happens. So then first we have to stop that. And then the mind come to a place to be relaxed, neutral. In that neutral place, you're going to become very clear and sharp. In that sharp, in that clarity, you start to recognize what to do. So in the very first level, the varitrasi, so what you should not do, you stop doing things. And then once you develop the clarity, you recognize what to do. So otherwise, if you don't stop what you keep doing, the same thing going to happen again and again and again. So especially in day-to-day life, in conventional life. So when things go wrong, especially with communication, and even in the family matters, in day-to-day life, even in your office. So if something go wrong, the very first thing that you have to do right away, disconnect your bodily, verbally, mentally action without thinking twice. It's a profitable skill. But look ourselves, how the conversations go wrong. Look, the people go to debates, even public debates. So it's kind of like exchange ideas sometimes. And they sit for, conversation. Look finally what happened, even in a family. Even you go to, party, dance, even in a wedding, it's a nice moment in life. No, that is one of the most important moment. But how it become violence, how people get into arguments, how relatives become enemies when they go to wedding. How it can happen? Because that is it is the most beautiful moment in life. But how somebody become enemies in, the families, and how somebody say, I will never come to even your death and leave the place. They are happy. It's very common. That's why before we get into, the deeper that spiritual development, we have to see in conventional level how this happen like this way, because it is very little something go wrong and you didn't see it. And it like this, okay? So I just give an analogy that how it can happen like this. So you have kind of like stingy mind, the greedy, and you go and you trying to buy something to wear for the wedding, so you want to buy a garment, and then, so you go, and then somebody, it is a very nice cloth, and it tell $10, and you have $10, but you want to get it for $8. That person not going to give it for $8. So in the very first time, then you get mad about the seller. So then why? Because you couldn't get it. You didn't get it what you want. It is not his mistake. So because you don't want to spend, and you don't want to put the right amount of money for that, you want to hold this $2, and you go and argue with the person, and you go to place, maybe there was a nice suit, or maybe there was a nice sari, or maybe there was a nice jewelry. You want to get it, but you didn't get it. Why? Because stingy, you hold it yourself. Incomplete. See, so then see that it started, and then you develop unhappiness, and then what happened? Then you get something else, and then you wearing, but still what is happening? That whatever you didn't get going to be with you. Why? Because now you buy this also with that unhappy mind regarding that. And then so you start to go to the wedding, or you go to the party, you go to the place, even you go to temple for ceremony. And there what is happening? Maybe something else you see, little mistake. That little mistake ignite your deeper boiling power. What is happening? Then you become unhappy. See, that's how it's a little by little. We don't see this spark come and that ignite that inside fire. Otherwise, when you go to a place, suddenly without any reason deeper inside, suddenly things not going to happen. There is no way in life, even there is no in this nature, it's not going to happen suddenly. Like as example, you get the sweet fruits and you eat, you feel so tasty. Do you think that taste suddenly happen in that very moment? No, there's a process, but we don't see that process. For any anger, any unhappiness, any sadness, any worry, or even for any happiness, or any success in life, even for the enlightenment, the same, drop by drop, step by step, deep by deep, moment by moment, waves by waves, second by second, day by day, week by week, months by months, years by years, life by life, we build up this whole journey. It's never going to happen suddenly, boom. And it's not going to happen anything in life. The same thing. When things go wrong, the same. So that's why, remember, it doesn't matter. Even with your children, maybe they are infant, very, even your pet, even with your, the things that you use, even with the husband, wife, children, even with the friends, even with the co-workers. When something, if you recognize if something go wrong, don't keep going. The very first thing, right away shut down, especially the communication. Go into deeper silence. Don't do anything. Don't try to make any actions. Get into the silence right away. And then you create a gap. In that gap, your mind becomes more clear. In that clarity, in this very next moment, you can get into the right action. But mostly in that gap, remember, don't try to keep thinking, because then it becomes a mental action. So that is what we do. When we take the gap, we see we don't do anything. We become so silent. But in that silence, what is happening? We keep thinking. And then it blow out. So out of the bodily action, verbally action, mental action, the most powerful and dangerous action is the mental action. It's like iceberg that your bodily action others can see. The bodily action we mostly hold ourselves. Oh, other people see if we do something bad. And verbal action the same. Sometimes we don't say things. And that's why some people say, I was thinking to say something, but I didn't say that. So see, it's like we hold this bodily and verbally action, but mentally action, no. We do whatever in our, all the bad things we do in our mind. So that is what the most corrupted place, our human mind. That is the most dirty, ugly place. And at the same time, that is the most beautiful place. We are the one who make it ugly. So only thing is we have to take this ugliness little by little out and stopping the actions. So that's why we have to come to a point to shut down and stop the action. It's like the one time in India, there is a Rabindranath Tagore, and he started this Shanthi Niketan, this uh, university. In that place, there was architect that he sculpture that he made a very beautiful Buddha statue out of a very rough stone. So then that they asked, when the opening ceremony come, they asked that how you did such a beautiful Buddha statue out of this rough the stone. Then the sculptor told that I didn't I didn't make it. What I did, I took out all the unnecessary parts from the stone. The beauty, the statue was inside the stone. What I did, I took out the unnecessary parts. So same thing in our mind. Remember, you have the Buddha nature. You are a bodhisattva. Can be the guardian angel to this entire universe. Your mind is so powerful than the sun. It can give the light to entire universe. So look at the Buddha is the one person. But look, this 2,600 years, how many people and transform their mind from suffering to salvation. So you also have the same thing. But the thing is what? We have a lot of unnecessary information gathered around us. So then what you have to do? Little by little, take out. But the thing is, if we don't see that dirt ourselves, how are we going to take it out? So that's why in the beginning, sometimes we cannot recognize it is dirty. It's like the mud. Some people see that they play in mud and it's a kind of like they very enjoy it, and they see some clarity. They see the beauty there because they don't recognize it like the mud. They enjoy it. They jump into it and they swim into it. And if somebody say it is mud, don't jump into. No, they play it. They appreciate it. So same like ourselves. So nothing wrong. That's the worldly nature. But only thing is this: if you keep going, keep going, this thing's going to go same way. So it is a choice yourself. If you want it, keep going. But if you don't want, then what you have to do? So if you don't like the lifestyle that you keep going, if you suffering and I know, the personally, I know everybody like to find the good, happy, peaceful, comfortable lifestyle for themselves. And people try in different ways to get into that. But yourself, you have to be honest and ask. You have done everything. You tried your best to find your happiness, but didn't work. So then what you have to do? That is where you have to think. Then you have to to stop what you keep doing because it didn't work. Then why you keep doing again and again and again? Then you have to stop it. And after you stop, what you will do? First stop. Because without stopping, you cannot understand what to do. That is the very wrong thing that the big mistake we do. Before we start, we get into a point to understand what to do. So that's mean before I start, what I keep doing means I am in wrong position. In that wrong position, if I recognize something or what to do, that means that also wrong. So if I keep doing something wrong and things went wrong and I didn't stop what I keep doing, so then I try to understand, and still what I keep doing what I keep doing, and then I come to a point, or maybe you go to temple, you go to guru, you go to church, a priest, and you mosque, or you go anywhere. You go to all the retreats, and you go to all the uh, philosophers. You read all the books, you watch all the documentaries and everything. Just imagine whatever, and you do everything to look for something good for you. But still you're looking at it while you keep doing what you keep doing, that are wrong things. You didn't stop it. So then you are in the wrong place. So even you go to guru and you go to monk and you go to, still you find out. Maybe you go there, but still you get it in the wrong way. Why? Because you are in the wrong place. So then what you have to do? Stop. First, the very thing is, if things go wrong, stop it. Don't keep going. It's hurt us, but it's worth. Stop it right away. Don't try to uh, look for reasons to stop it. Right away, you have to stop it. No second choice, no second thought. It's a skill that you have to learn it little by little, practice it in your personal life. You will see, you get the result right away. Without any reason, just a step. If you know the relationship, this, right away, from the beginning, you have to do that. See, if you don't do it, see what happening later. You suffer it. You get into the big problems. So then, whenever, whatever you see, the very first time things go wrong, right away, stop it. Even that sometimes when you look at the people, that right away, when the very first time when you see that person, it's not going to work. But still then you think, okay, I will do that, like that, you get into that. And things go wrong. Why? The very first things, went wrong. But we think, oh, we can do it. That's what we keep doing in the samsaric journey. That is what we keep doing. So that's why we have rituals, that the discipline, precepts. Why? The very first thing, even when we come to temple, or we start everything, anything, what we does, the observing 5 precepts. That why what the 5 precepts? It's not like you giving out, oh, I going to do this, I going to do this, I going to do this. No, you come to, because when you are in the wrong place, you cannot understand what to do. So that's why you stop. I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this. And 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, I don't do this, I don't do this. So before you start what to do, you get into a clarity. You stop and clean all the whatever you keep doing. You come to a point to stop actions. Once that you stop, you're going to be clear. So then remember, whatever you want to learn, wherever you want to go, and if you when things went wrong, if you want to change your life, the very first thing, without any condition, stop it. Whatever you keep doing. stop and get into a line to find the clarity in your mind little bit. And from there, and start to look, you will see. You start to recognize. And that recognition going to take you to the right path, because you are in the moment. In the moment, your mind is always right. In the present moment, there is no way in the present moment your mind can go wrong. There's no way. It cannot. It's not going to happen. Maybe the sun going to come from the west, but your present moment never going to go wrong. If it is very clear and 100% free from all the thoughts, that is the power of awareness. That is the power of clear comprehension. So it is within yourself. Only you can do it for you. There's no anyone interfere with. Because once somebody interfere, once some idea interfere, it itself lose that quality. That is why. So if you able to get into that point that you recognize, in that very moment, it is very fresh and it is very new, and that newness will transform you to the exactly what you want. So think about it. And little by little, be patient and try to practice yourself slowly. So that's why in tranquility state, we come to a point to calm down and relax. And then from that point, we go into the vipassana level of observation and recognizing. So, and when you develop this moment by moment, it becomes a profitable skill for yourself to deeply understand and see this mechanism. In this ordinary lifestyle, it's nothing. It's any time, because you all the time you become new person with your bodily, verbally, and mentally action. You don't depend on your past. You don't depend on the culture, tradition, or the things. You always in the present moment. So whatever in the present moment, things going to be exactly right. Just imagine for a moment yourself 5 minutes. If you are in the present moment doing things, your moment going to become right. And look at your family. If you're around your family, how about everybody 5 minutes? If everybody get into a moment exactly in the present moment without depending from past or the future, without comparison with any ideas, if the all family members behave exactly according to the present moment of the clear comprehension, their whole family in that 5 minutes going to be in bliss. And expand that family to the village. Just imagine that village, that how about that all the people, 5 minutes become completely clear and stay in the present moment without depending on the past or the future. In that village, no hatred, no anger, no jealousy. Why? Because that come out of the past comparison or the future comparison. So look, that is where the beauty arises. How about the country, the entire country, we people, 5 minutes, just think, we have today this all the communication and this network and everything, it's possible. 5 minutes, you stay in the present moment. And in that very present moment, no greed, no hatred, no delusion. So how about you expand it to the world, entire world, just 5 minutes. Get out of the all this past or the future, the the struggle, and stay in the present moment. That going to become the most beautiful, blissful 5 minutes in this universe. So it to start from your life. So every day yourself keep a moment to get into that. And then you will see the bliss inside arise. That bliss is universal. that it's so powerful. And so little by little, you can do it. Remember yourself, everything inside you. Then you have all the good inside you. So then only thing is take out unnecessary things and let it appear. If you make a space for seed to grow, the Buddha nature or the Bodhisattva or the enlightened being, the great compassion in you, allow it to appear. Only thing, take out unnecessary things. That how you can do. When things go wrong, just stop it and find a place to keep the emptiness. So that way you will see. So with that, there was a place, very beautiful land, and that land had everything, all the flowers, trees, and fruits, and it very beautiful and very healthy land. It's kind of like more than 1 acre, 2 acres, and so there was a sign: if you are completely happy, if you have everything, if you are completely happy, this land going to be for you. So then there was a millionaire. He was traveling, and suddenly he saw this, and he got stuck with this land. And he saw, oh, I have everything. I'm happy completely. Maybe if I go and ask this, I can get this land. Now he start to think about it. And then he looked around the land and he saw little hut. And he guessed that the owner. And then he went and knocked the door. Very old person opened the door and asked, how I can help? So that land is belong to you? Oh yes. Is that true that if somebody really completely happy and have everything, if come and ask that that person get that land? Of course, why not? So then the person start to claim, I am like this. So I am qualified for, I am qualified to get that land. So then this wise person told, if you have everything, and if you are thinking that you have a lot of things and you have a space to ask that land that there is incomplete, you didn't see, so you cannot get it. And he closed the door. So like that, in our life, sometimes we have holes, we have gaps, we don't see that. And so it is only ourselves with the very clear mind we can see it. So it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vaham hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.